It's a good way to get hot firefighters to come to your house.
That's a good way to get into the microwave.
That's a great opening
line.
Sexy firefighters in your area.
Firefighters. We were talking about the differences between potatoes and hamsters. And we've realized that the only real difference is you can microwave a potato. It's not great, but you can do it. You cannot microwave a hamster. That is animal abuse, and they taste horrible microwave.
Yeah.
You thought I was trying to save that, didn't you?
No.
Thought I was trying to take it somewhere good.
No.
I was just digging a hole.
No, I would never assume that.
Dig it
there was no hope.
Welcome, everybody. It's Defenders of Kobold.
Yeah, I feel like that actually sets the tone correctly for the evening. There is no hope.
Yes. Yep. So we're back playing our weekly Heart campaign. Last time there was some crazy squid shenanigans. Quick recap and then player introductions, and then we'll resume things. Basically, you were in this crazy town that was harvesting memories from everybody and trading them around and swapping people's abilities and minds and stuff like that as currency. You found there's like this central kind of depository storage where most of those machines were hooked into. And then you found that was sitting on top of this ancient, monstrous squid-like beast thing. And it was being harvested for all of its mental goodness and spells and abilities and things that a few of you may have, or at least one of you, dipped into a little bit. Yeah, you guys fought the squid, killed it, and as it started dying, you had been inside of this kind of dimension it created for itself. And as that started to kind of unwrap and unwind, you were deposited back up on top of the station, but there was a little bit of chaos and commotion going on that was not yet realized where we ended. So we'll go back into character introductions now and then pick up from there. So I'm just going in Zoom order. Chuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Who are you?
I'm first. Before I can introduce my character, I have a few follow-up questions with your introduction. You mentioned it was a crazy town.
Yeah.
What is your opinions on butterflies or sugar babies? Now,
I feel like this is
enough will get
a
that
reference.
Joke.
Okay.
Someone old enough. I was actually looking at the lyrics for the Crazy Town Butterfly song.
Yes.
And wow, that's really fucking dumb. How did they survive?
Because you're my butterfly.
Those lyrics look a lot dumber when you just read them.
That's fair. Anyway, Joe, quit disrupting me. I'm playing Zero the Face Fister, and I fist the faces and bite hounds on the nose, and I don't even know anymore. What are we doing here?
Seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Probably the most on point thing I've heard all night.
April, who are you playing?
Hello, I'm playing Genevieve. She is a junk mage who took a nice little belly flop onto the squid's brain to suck up some of its ancient knowledge while all of her buddies were kind of maybe not getting their asses handed to them, but it was all for the greater good. Right?
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, probably.
All right. John, who are you playing?
Yeah, I am playing Sir Galvin, Vermisian Knight. He's a fully armored up tank guy. He was all set to kill the horrible abomination of the squid monster, so that was all good. Yeah, he's added some more components to his armor, and now he sounds a little bit like Darth Vader because he's got a mask he breathes through, and yeah, that's about it.
That might come in handy soon. Jake, who you playing?
I'll be playing Devoran, who is a deep apiarist. He has a queen bee inside of his heart, and a hole in his brain where he stuck a tube to suck out memories of his childhood and put it into the brain of a giant squid. And
Yes.
he has been infected by horrible crystal witch disease things that is doing something to him. But he's mostly made of bees, so that's all right.
Yeah. That void will slowly fill back in with some honey
More
and wax
bees.
or all that. So
Absolutely.
Or
They'll
just more
reconstruct
bees.
the- yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they might if I could remember how to do technology. I don't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Weren't you an
Turns
engineer?
out fighting a giant squid monster is a bad idea. So
Yeah, you guys took a lot of fallouts during that.
Really great.
Especially mental ones. But and then finally, Dan, who are you playing?
Everybody. I'm kind of playing the heretic hound at this point, Theo, who gave up a lot of his memories so he could become a heretic.
Yeah. Dan is multi-classing from the only place in the game that allows you to do it. So it's been fun. You've got a few other crazy things going on with your eye and your extra arms.
Yeah.
All sorts of strangeness. It's awesome.
I'm primed to shoot extremely dangerously, either for myself or for those around me.
Yes. It's tipped both ways. All right. So yeah, we left off basically with a lot of you. Right as the squid died, its dimensional space that it had built for itself was kind of falling apart. You saw its body like opening up rifts to different places all around the heart. And one of those that was accessible and that you all recognized was back on the station next to your friend, the painter lady, Redane. You were able to hop out that one, return her memories. And we ended pretty much right as you jumped out. And you hadn't really seen everything else that was going on here, as the squid dying did a little bit more than just tear apart its own dimension. It's tearing apart the dimension that its body was in, too. So, as you guys are up on the station, that's probably the safest place for a little bit. But you hear like the sound of voices is just kind of getting louder and louder. And occasionally you hear loud like cracks and thuds and all sorts of these like echoing, not exactly explosions, but just heavy bits of ice breaking beneath you. You hear some familiar sounds, John, of
Yay.
cables and support structures being strained.
That's not good.
As you all gather around, and you see a lot of people are kind of moving over towards the edge of this station, which is suspended by these really thick kind of cables up to the ceiling of this little cavern that you're in. It's meant to be this kind of an observation deck to look down on the frozen ice that's been keeping this creature, for viewing. But as you look over the edge and you see that there's several people doing this now, many people have been trying to climb these cables manually and are taking like the little rafts that ferry you up. As the ice has been falling apart, it's breaking up. The body of the squid is flailing around, ripping itself out. There's all of that bazaar and marketplace has been destroyed. The big central spire is kind of being sucked back down into the earth. And you hear the squid kind of roaring out in pain and things, but you feel like it's still kind of dying. Most of its body is dissolving into a similar phenomenon that you saw as it was kind of disappearing into like fire, as its hyperdimensional space that it's kind of crammed into is falling apart. And you notice a weird thing underneath the ice, as it was this kind of clear blue, whitish ice. It's starting to get darker, and looks like there's kind of this cloud of smoke that's filling in underneath it. And as you're looking at that, Jake, you notice there's another. You notice there's another bit of this like plant budding out of your skin as you're looking around. Like Now you've got a little sprout coming out on your other arm, and there's a fully formed leaf on your shoulder. And then growing out of your side, there's a new flower. As you're inspecting that, and your bees go to pollinate it, your vision's kind of messed up a little bit. You start seeing double, and you hear a voice talk to you. It sounds like a woman. And as she starts speaking, you can't really hear what she's saying exactly at first, but as it starts to kind of focus in and your vision's pulled away from you, you get this vision of a woman completely made out of plants and flowers, except for her head, which mostly resembles that of like an elf or high elf. And she's looking at you and says, "It's unfortunate how far away you are. I wish you were closer." And as she's walking towards you, you hear awful crunching that you know too well from the few times that you've accidentally done it in your life, where you've stepped on a bee here or there, maybe by accident. As you see underneath her are just countless bodies of other people that appear to be apiarists, and several thousands of dead bees around them. As she reaches out towards you, holding out her hand, and snaps, you hear one of the cables give free on the support structure that you now are on. And then another, and another, and your vision's brought back to you. As the lot of you see, this entire platform starts to dip and bend. More and more cables start snapping. It's dipping all the way on one side. One of the trains falls off of its tracks and just goes hurtling into the ice, smashing it open. And you see this cloud that had been growing underneath the surface of the ice was this strange, like, dark, murky liquid that's now filling the room. And as the last cables give free, the platform free falls into it. What's everyone doing? Yeah, you're basically on the platform, and this last cable's broken free, and the entire support's falling. People with you are screaming, trying to hold on to stuff.
This is easy. One of the cables that broke free, I'll grab onto it, and then I'll grab onto the platform, and I'll keep it all in place. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
I'll allow it. I think this is a test.
You'll regret
It's probably
this.
This is a test that I think you're going to want to fail.
I was thinking
I don't
about
know.
doing like half of this plan, like
Quick.
grabbing the cable.
Just grab the cable.
Grab my feet.
No one wants to touch your grippers.
They're
I'll do it. Now,
butter-flavored.
Sir Galvin will try to work as an anchor.
The rest of us will just hold
Okay.
on Theo's hands.
I
There's
do
enough
have
of them.
hands.
So you're trying to grab like the cable on both ends and hold it. Okay.
Yes.
What is everyone else doing? You're trying to also grab onto other cables. You're trying to grab onto Zerl.
Other
let's see.
cables,
Is there a
but
cable?
not like two ends, just the one end that keeps me from falling.
Okay.
Yeah, are we on like someplace stable, or is the thing that we're on also in the process of falling?
The whole thing's like in the
Okay.
process. So think of like probably when it was
Quick time
first
event.
constructed, there was maybe like 6 or 7 main support cables, and then over the years, as more and more people have been living on this platform, there's been all sorts of like smaller, not quite as structurally sound wires. So those were all the first ones that were snapping, and you just heard them breaking constantly. And now some of these gigantic main support cables are breaking, and it's just about to free fall.
All right. I will. And so there's multiple of the larger cables that are snapping.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna do this same thing as Zero. I'm gonna go to another one. I'm gonna try to grab them and like hold them best I
big
can,
damn heroes.
so that hopefully people can get up.
Okay.
Say
I'll
we could
allow
be
you to.
Heroes for just one day. Copyright Defenders of Cobalt. Fuck you, David Bowie.
Yeah, we wrote that.
No, not Bowie.
What did
Come on
David
now.
Bowie ever
I know.
do to you?
To steal our song, obviously.
Yeah, he stole our song.
How dare you speak against April? No, it's fine.
What
shit,
skill
barcode,
is
thank you.
holding up a falling platform?
I would say Endure Haven. Oh,
Yeah.
complications. What are you doing to me, man?
Oh man,
Oh.
How dare you? You know
I
what?
haven't had a
Complications
complication in
cost
a while.
500, so Joe gets one complication and we get one baked advantage.
sweet. Yeah, I think Endure Haven or technology sounds right.
No thanks.
Because these are like
Thank you.
thick metal
Is there?
cables, and then the Haven itself is a technology domain. So
And this is
this is dangerous.
how dare you?
Fair.
it's
Do we have any of the things to give us the mastery left?
Oh my gosh.
Double
Need
tens.
You did a standard.
No. I did not.
Wait,
I did it
where is it?
dangerous. Dangerous.
That was
roll.
mine. That was standard.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Where's your roll at?
I see it.
I do see it, and it is 2 10s. It still comes out as success at a
Gonna
cost, but that's real
refresh.
impressive.
Yeah. Sir Galvin, yes, we do. Would you like one?
Yes, I would.
Very well.
Oh, there we
have two
go.
remaining.
And then I'm also going to be spending a resource on this, activating some spare capacitors to give me an extra oomph, depending on
Okay.
how this roll turns out. So here we go.
I told you you would regret.
I see it
this.
now. There we go.
Failure!
Oh.
Oh,
Success at a cost. Okay.
roll my failure.
Oh no.
So
Oh,
Oh,
there's
what kind
Barcode is working with the Joe tonight. Joe, that's
Is
two
this-
complications.
Is
awesome.
this going to
Okay.
be blood stress?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, for you, it is supplies stress, as
Okay.
your armor is basically stretched, and it'll need a little bit to
And what's the die
repair
size
it a
on
little
this?
bit. This is a D6.
Okay.
It's the stress of the Haven. And then the success at a cost, pretty much the only way I can interpret any level of success is
Save the day.
what's going on is the platform itself is starting to have its weight dispersed a little bit across all of these anchors, because the anchors are not perfectly vertical. They're angled all sorts of ways. So as some of the supports have broken free and other ones are there, you've just ripped off a small chunk of this platform with all of you on it, and you are holding it, and you've kept it from falling, but there is a lot of weight on your body, so you're taking a d6
name
of that
this.
blood stress.
Place. New Zealand. You're welcome.
There's an old Zerland.
There it is.
It's the rest of that falling down there.
I don't want
Yeah.
to go there.
And you said that was blood stress.
Yes, blood stress.
Is that correct? Minor fallout.
2 stress? What?
I have no idea. I think it says minor fallout.
It does say minor fallout.
I rolled a 1 on the D12.
Had you?
No, I
Oh.
shouldn't have had
Okay.
anything because my blood was empty. And I
Yeah.
got 3 protection. The thing is, it's on the drugs.
So you did roll, yeah, because you got a
I
few
did.
majors, I think,
I
last
did.
time. So
A reminder, because I love my new major fallout and I'm never getting rid of it. I have a cult now.
oh
Is
yeah,
your cult,
you
is
do.
your cult on the island with us in New Zealand?
I don't
This
know.
is how we got the
Or did they fall
Wait,
off
you
old Zerland?
Hanging on the edge.
had
They're
you had
yelling at me.
2.
One of
We
them
also have
cleared
a-
because I fought the squid and it went away.
We also have a baby
Oh, okay.
brain squid stuck on our robot dog.
Yes.
Yep.
All of these new cultists are clattering onto the sides of New Zealand, going, "Help me, Butter Daddy, help me." And I look down at them.
Yeah.
And I say, no.
They love you more.
I imagine there's like lots of those stringy, like tiny additional cables that are just hanging from underneath. So you're like a big Christmas ornament of just people.
God, I'm the star of this tree.
Someone on there is like, he spoke to us, yeah.
Well, I failed.
Taking minor.
And I took
blood
major
fallout.
Oh,
fallout.
God.
To supply.
Oh, no. Major supply fallout. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. We'll roll both of these.
Yeah, boy.
Minor blood. So, Chuck, you get tired.
I
And then, Galvin, you get no rations. No rations. That's a pretty tame major supply stress.
Mm-hmm.
I am weary. I'm going
So
to make...
actually, it's worse than it sounds. I'm out of food. This functions as half rations, and all actions you make become risky due to shaking hands and low blood sugar. I live this. Another party member can remove this follow-up by marking video expenses.
Life
love the
imitates art,
excitement.
and art imitates life.
If you like, I have some crackers. You can have...
Peanut butter crackers.
No, they're Wendy's crackers.
Wow.
I have
Okay.
cheese.
Yeah. That is. No rations does not make it sound that bad, but yeah, you are. Why isn't it called starving? Okay.
No rations for a good while.
Just a touch
Yeah.
famished.
Yeah.
Time
yeah.
passed differently for me in the interdimensional.
There have been no
space.
rations.
Wait, he's got crackers. I've got honey.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get him on his feet in no time.
For a bit.
Okay.
I actually have
But yeah,
two
so with that-
supplies protection, so I can get that done for you.
Sure. If you want to roll that now, you can do that pretty much at any time.
Some Twinkies or Labar bars, whatever those things are. Lara bar. I don't know how to pronounce this. How do you say that thing?
What?
I know,
Lara
me too.
bar.
I'm so confused. The die rolled like a 5, but then it says it's a 10. But I rolled a d8.
Make it make sense.
Something is wrong.
How did I get 10 stress from a d8?
Somehow we're seeing all of Dan's possible rolls.
The realities.
It's not just selecting the worst one like it normally does.
It said I need to up my ante. I'm just going to select them all.
It's a peek behind the curtain at Dan's bad luck.
8's not high enough, so let's just go to 10.
Pay no attention to the
Where
small
did you
man
roll it?
ruining Dan's day.
I did a stress roll.
It
I don't
says
even
that
see
he
it in
rolled a
the-
5, but it's 10 stress.
Is that like a total on you?
No.
I didn't even see that he rolled that. The last thing is it in chat underneath the fallouts?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What in the world?
The
I
stream
don't
sees
see
it.
What is going on with my game? I'm gonna try a different browser.
Oh my gosh. I told you should have given up Internet Explorer. Please don't switch back to Safari. It doesn't work on your PC.
I'm gonna do Firefox.
There we go.
Thank you, Theo. Thank you for the snack. It gives me a sticker.
I like Brave, but it's been
This is going to hurt me more than
treating me
it
worse
hurts you.
and worse.
Yeah.
I think that's my password. Oh God.
Is pants? Nope. Password, not pantsword.
Okay, that was it.
Can't sword.
Pantsword. Nope, that's something else.
10 stress, D8 stress roll. How
I
did you
feel
manage
like it
that?
after making that comment.
Oh God, I didn't turn down the music of this one. Oh jeez. That was so loud. I don't know why I did that to you, Dan, but only do 5. That's what you rolled.
just think this is great. I'm taking.
Do you have like a Fallout that doubles your stress for some reason? Like,
No, I got rid of pretty much all my Fallouts. I'm probably about to take another one, but
probably. So
gonna be a critical Fallout.
So you rolled a 5, and then you should have 2 supply protection, right?
Yes.
So should have only taken 3 strings.
all right.
You know.
Well, I'm gonna roll Fallout and we'll see what happens here. Okay. All right.
Is that
All right.
okay?
Minor. So minor
Yeah.
supplies fall out.
We're trading one Fallout for another Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Probably gonna be worse somehow. Broken. No. My stuff.
An important item is damaged. You cannot use it until you take time and resources to repair it ongoing.
I'm sorry that my Snickers bar has broken something important.
Yeah, I'll warn you that I have a lot of things that are duplicated in there for different dice rolls. So, like, I have a rifle, and the railgun.
Sir Galvin was so hungry, he just went rummaging around and Theo's backpack.
Just ate my gun.
There's an emergency ration stuffed in the spike driver gun, and when you did that, it jammed it open. It's terribly sorry about ruining your railgun.
It was in the way.
Railgun feels a little bit steep. We're gonna break your rifle.
Okay.
That's what she
It's
said.
fair.
Because it's not the most important item is damaged. So yeah, we'll break your rifle there.
Oh, what? How dare you, game? How dare you?
Out there.
I toggled it to inactive and now it's just gone.
This game doesn't like Dan.
No. It's probably like, you're breaking all the rules. This is what you get.
Makes me wonder how many times you've accidentally taken 3 times as much stress as you as you were supposed to. All right.
Probably a lot somehow. Probably a lot.
So, recap then, now that I'm back in the game and things are loading. So, platform's breaking apart. Chuck, you've managed to grab the cable from the ceiling and the cable from the platform, and you are just Spider-Man 2ing, I think, is the movie.
That's right.
As the rest of the party is clinging to it, and then a large number of new occult followers that have just joined up with you, all clinging to other just random cables and other pieces of it. You see the rest of the platform spins and breaks apart and falls into this still growing sea. And it kind of looks like it's rising, but it's more that the rest of everything underneath it is sinking. As you see the seas, it looks kind of murky and almost muddy at first, but you realize it's made out of ash. And
Art lady, no.
No.
Just learn to paint with passion.
She was up on the platform with us, though, wasn't she?
she was. You were right next to it. So maybe her easel and a few things fell in, but she's like still clutching onto it with you guys.
All right. All is well.
She joined the cult.
Is until
I saw that painting she made of me. She was in it beforehand.
and this I'm not doing this just because you grabbed up the cable, but I did have it planned. So these cracks that are forming in the earth, that all of this like ashy, sludgy water is coming out and filling the cavern. These cracks are continuing up the sides and going up to these supports, and then those are now also breaking free. So you see a few of the supports start to fall free from the ceiling and begin to collapse, crash through bits of the platform that have landed on the surface. Some of the platform is like kind of still hovering and like intact. At least it's just this little kind of floating island. Other parts have been broken off and completely submerged. And you see there's a crack going along the ceiling, going towards the anchor point of what you're holding onto there, Chuck.
Stop it.
No. No. Hang on. I have an idea. I am going to command my butterflies, and they're not butterflies, they're flies that are attracted to my butter, to go
Okay.
up there and hold that crack together.
Okay.
Because once per delve, I may use my swarm as a piece of equipment, and it counts as a D8 delve thing.
Okay. I'm going to say this is going to buy you more time, but it looks like it's definitely going to break free. Is there anything else anyone else is doing
there
as you see?
somewhere for us to go that will keep us from falling in here? Or is
It
just
doesn't
a
look
matter
like
of time?
there's. It's pretty much just a matter of time before you fall into the water. Although at this point, the water has risen enough that it looks like it's probably not lethal to fall into it. Maybe at the beginning, if you had fallen like straight off the edge, you probably would have hit the ice. There wasn't much of a buffer there, but this water's to the point that you could almost safely plunge into it from where you're at.
So like the station itself is basically about ready to fall into. Okay.
The rest of the station has fallen and is
okay.
like on the surface of this water.
Genevieve, you look like you had something funny to say.
Well, I was gonna ask how much weight my cave dog can hold, because if he's got little bat wings, can he like hover and pick me up? Or can I like bear hug him?
Probably I don't imagine your character's like, because what race is your character?
She's a drow.
Your drow. I imagine the cave dog's big enough that they'd be able to do that.
Yes.
So, so you just kind of like clutch onto them. Just they're not like additional wings on the back of this dog. It's more like flying squirrel-esque, where it's like in its legs, kind of. So
Grab
it's
onto
able to
its
kind of
tail.
like
Phenomenal.
glide. Yeah.
Amazing.
You're able to like kind of hug around its waist a bit, and it's got enough of like wingspan just underneath its front legs that it's able to break your fall. And you could steer yourself over to the main kind of like structure that's still floating.
Ooh, that might not be a bad idea. I think.
Are there people struggling in like this water at all or anything? Or
You see lots of kind of random people. Some are getting sucked under, as it looks like there's some kind of a current that's still pulling things under and spinning bits of debris here and there. So
It's got a riptide in the water.
I think so. Riptide and Undertow are like two.
Undertow. I recognize that
That's
word.
the one.
That's what happens when
Yeah.
one of your toes is right on top of the other one.
Yep.
all
Think
right,
about it, Sir Galvin.
I'm thinking that I'm going to try to drop down into like the water where there's kind of not people but still kind of near, and then I'm going to try to pull people out and try to drag them to safety or whatever appears to be floating or something.
Okay. You do so. I'll say you've got your new like fancy mask thing. Is there an ability that you need to activate with that, or is there like a passive effect with that?
No, it is it's a gas mask that filters out airborne infectants from the heart. It gives me echo protection. It's not like a rebreather kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to drop down. The water level is like close enough to where you guys are hanging from that you don't take any damage falling into it. Although you are pretty heavy.
Yeah.
You're swimming a little bit better than you'd expect because it's not quite water. It's like this, again, it's like a sea of ash. It's almost like a mudslide type thing.
Yeah.
But there's still really strong currents that you're fighting against. So I'll say if you make an endure, probably Haven or Cursed. Or actually, no, Desolate. Haven or Desolate.
Haven or Desolate? Haven? All right. And what's the difficulty?
This is a risky because of your armor.
Oh. Oh.
Wait,
All right.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Didn't your Fallout make everything you do dangerous?
I fixed it.
He gave
Oh,
him
you
a
fixed it.
Snickers.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
yeah,
that
you
was
did.
canon. My bad.
It was.
Mhm.
Sir Galvin, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
Not,
Yeah.
not.
He took a
that'll be
bite
my
out of
zenith.
Dan's rifle.
I
My
actually
zenith
just
ability is
stuck it on
give
him
into
and
the
he
hunger,
absorbed
right.
it through his armor.
just
Mhm.
perpetually hangry. What's the die size for the stress?
This is a D6 still.
D6 still.
And this will be blood. As you're kind of getting battered around by the sea of ash as it's fighting at you. And with the failure, so you're not able to really make it to anybody else.
Yeah.
You survive the fall, but you're not able to swim, you're not able to stay above it, and you are sucked underneath, and
Okay.
you lose sight of John.
All right.
Sir Galvin is not visible anymore.
I'm trudging along as best I can using my my sanguinary array to to kind of guide me.
Yeah, and then once you fall below the surface, you're tumbling around. There's all sorts of crazy currents. You're seeing bits of like the ice and bits of not quite yet dissolved squid monster that are flailing around under here. And you get the idea that's probably what's causing a lot of these currents.
Okay.
Is just the still flailing body of this squid.
That's gross.
That's where Sir Galvin's at. Everyone else, you're still on this support beam. You see, or you're still on like this tiny island that Zerl is holding out. Looks like it's going to give out pretty soon, but you're able to safely drop into the water.
Well, I mean, Genevieve is on the main structure, so most of my concerns are taken care of. Devorin, you should have your little bee friends fly you to safety. And, Theo, what are you gonna do, man? This is...
Let's just try and swing this thing towards the main thing. Like, we'll get a little rockin', and then you let go, and we'll try and, like, do the thing.
Never
I'd say
heard-
you bought enough time with your butterflies that you could do that.
Butterfly. Nice. All right, we'll do it. Help me swing. Theo, or Calvin, or Devorin, what are you still doing here?
Well, my bees can't really take me apart unless I take maybe an hour, 6 hours to do that. So
I didn't mean take you apart. I mean just like do like fucking Genevieve did. Just have them carry you.
bees are strong, but only proportionately so. So here's what I'm going to do,
You got like
and I will
12
just
of them.
I will lie down and wait for death.
Well, Theo, I guess we're saving him as well. All right.
Imagine there's just like a bit of rebar that you're just like splayed over the back of.
Oh
Are
yeah.
you just sighing dramatically? Just every moment that passes, just
World.
One step closer to the glorious hexagon.
Yeah. I would say this is probably a delve test to swing it.
Sure.
And delve haven.
Do you want to just use me as helping you?
Sure.
Yeah. Whoever wants to make the test can use the other person as a help.
Delve Haven. Being helped by Theo. What's our difficulty?
This will be risky.
Risky business. You know what? I'm going to spend one of our masteries. Because... why not? We have one remaining.
Okay.
And I checkity check, check, check. And roll!
We did it.
Failure.
Yay.
So you guys like do the thing where you swing back and then you're going to swing forward, but you just swing it farther away and the cable snaps.
Oh no!
And you send the rest of the platform, all of
My
your
lord.
occult friends, and you all go hurtling into the water. It's a pretty it's a more solid thud as you hit the surface of this water against like ash that's acting as a liquid, but it's much more just like a sea of ash, like
It's
a
a
mudslide type thing.
non-plutonium liquid. Is that what that phrase is?
Yeah, non-Newtonian.
Newtonium. Hopefully, it is also non-plutonium.
It is a non-Nutella
I like Nutella. What is the die size
just
for this
cornstarch.
stress?
This is a D6. And this will be blood as the
4.
impact.
Blood. 4 stress, and it gets eaten, and I only take 1.
You're good.
We did great.
No fallout.
Absolutely
We
great.
did.
In similar fashion, you two are also sucked under. You don't have time to search for anyone else or swim. You're just kind of pulled under in the currents. You're
Are we
tumbling
taking New
underneath the
Zealand with
surface.
us?
It is in the water, yes.
I mean, that's important.
Listen,
You hear the other occultists land in the water with you as well, and are also
They,
floating.
Zero's an aquatic one.
just like my new friends, New Zealand is also replaceable. And I'll let New Zealand go.
All right.
I meant the
And the-
cultists,
you
if
release it?
anyone's unclear.
Yeah. I imagined you were like still kind of holding on to just that side of it or whatever,
Yes.
but now as you're being fled around, yeah. And with that,
And the new
the-
Zealand.
The four of you-
New Zealand.
tumbling around, there's pockets of air here and there, and you're not sure exactly how much time is passing. It feels like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, but it's so hectic, it's so crazy that it's kind of hard to keep track of how long you've been underneath the surface.
It's like a sonic
And-
water level then with those pockets of air.
A little bit.
Very well.
As the music
And-
accelerating
It
at random
does.
intervals.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Then we hit that pocket, then it shuts off. Yeah.
Yeah. But as you guys are tumbling around,
Much pain.
John, you're the first to surface back up. And you don't see the cavern that you were in previously. Instead, you poke your head up. It's much darker. And you see a much calmer surface of the water. Then a few other heads of people pop up and they're gasping for air. You see Devorin pop up. And then Dan.
I
and then
wave at them.
Chuck.
Hello.
You start to surface. You guys see that you're in this. It's not a chamber anymore. You don't see walls. You see a surface above you that's kind of strange. It looks like it resembles that phenomenon that the squid had as it was dissolving. As you see, like similar fiery flakes of things. And that seems to be what's generating all of this ash as it's crackling above you, giving this kind of orangish, ambery glow of the entire area. And these flakes speckle down on this really calm, just sea of ash. And you're holding just bits of driftwood here and there. And you hear this massive gurgling as a large structure starts to surface from underneath the water. As April, you're on the platform and it comes up to the surface. You're there. A lot of other people are with you. It's broken up, and there's now just a few islands of what used to be the station. But you're there with your cave dog.
He's okay.
And a lot of you just look around and you see nothing along the horizon in any direction. It's just this kind of like narrow chamber that goes in all directions.
Can I reach the ceiling?
I can't reach the ceiling. It looks like it's probably about almost 200 feet up.
Oh goddamn!
Yeah,
That
it's
is more
not.
than
It's not
four.
like. Yeah, it's not super shallow, but like it looks that way a little bit because of how far off it goes in all directions. But it is pretty high above you, and it is. It's not like a solid surface to it. It's this kind of like crackling, smoky, fiery thing. So you can't tell exactly where there might be a surface there, but it looks to be about 200 feet above you.
Well, shit.
Should we head to that structure?
Yes. And Genevieve, you said Genevieve, you're down here with us.
Yes, we surfaced. We're safe.
Good.
Yep,
I can't
it's
believe I'm
broken up a
alive.
little
This
bit.
is ridiculous.
Sorry to disappoint you.
I thought we were all gonna die, but you know,
But
neat.
look, I brought you meat as I'll hold up a couple of my cultists. They're butter
Yes, there's like
flavored.
a string. It kind of looks almost like migratory birds as Chuck's like swimming through the water, and there's just
I'm the head of a V formation. V for zero.
Ducks fly together.
Ducks fly
Yep.
together.
but yeah, you all sort of converge on these central platforms of what used to be the station. It's mostly been flattened. A lot of the structures have been kind of ripped up, and there's debris just all over the place. And you see other people surfacing here and there. And John, you hear a familiar voice calling out from the wreckage, asking
Alright.
for help.
Oh,
It's actually familiar to the rest of you as well. Sounds like the voice of Frank, who you ran into inside the squid last time.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
You
the,
see him kind of gurgling. He's like trying to hold on to a barrel that's spinning, and he's
Okay.
like just not having a good time.
Gonna go help Frank.
All right.
Can I try and toss him a rope? Can I?
Sure,
shuffle
yeah.
and see if I have a rope.
Yeah, there's I'll say there's also these cables, and there's like enough debris on them too. And also it's not like water. It's thick enough that this cable kind of sets on top of it almost. So you're able to
Chocolate
just
milk.
grab one of those supports that are there and toss it his way. But he doesn't really notice it because he's kind of, on the
too
barrel.
busy being bad
there.
at living.
John, it looks like he's kind of on the way for you, so you're able to make it over to him. I'll have you make me a. Some of these skills are so hard to boil down.
You do it.
Let's
I
make
believe in
this
you.
I think delve again.
Okay.
Either delve or endure, and this is desolate.
Great. Okay, here we go. Oh, is this risky? Sorry, should I ask that before I rolled?
No, this is standard.
Okay, I got critical
Nice.
success.
Nice.
Nice. All right. You are just swimming perfectly here. You've got it all kind of figured out. You've spent enough time in
I'd
the water
practice,
now.
yeah.
And yeah. And it's thick enough that you're able to swim surprisingly well in your armor. And you just kind of hook them with your arm, and you're able to bring them over. And then you also, with the help of this cable that's been thrown your way, you're able to pull
Yeah.
yourself up just perfectly. And you converge on the central platform, a lot of you.
All right.
After a little bit, you guys are all checking yourselves, seeing if everyone's there, and occasionally throwing stuff out to another few people that are surfacing here and there. You see way out on the horizon, there's kind of a orangish glow of a fire. You don't really notice it at first because of the ceiling thing, but then you see that it's on the surface of the water, and it seems to be growing, and then it starts to split. You see it's several lights. And it looks to be like a fleet of ships or something approaching you.
We must signal them. We're on the structure, right?
Yes.
I am going to activate my ability to start excreting dark goo and rub it
Okay.
all over the side of the structure and then light it on fire. Like,
All
all
right.
right, I'll spell out help as the best I can.
I expect it will be written backwards.
It's written
Yep.
fine. Look at that A. It's fantastic. And then I
Ow.
will light it on fire.
All right. I'll say you don't even need to do a test for that. You just do so. You have plenty of time too. It looks like they're not moving that quickly. But you light this fire. The smoke pretty well blends in to the area, but the flame itself is bright enough that it seems to help. And you see that they kind of correct their course a little bit and start making their way straight towards you guys.
I've saved us. You're welcome.
Or killed us,
Listen, If they came to fight, then we'll just murder them first, and then we'll have ships.
That's true.
Right. Make sure your cult is prepared to stand in front of us.
Yes, you there, all of you, please stand in a line. I am judging the back of your heads and stare right at those ships.
They do so.
I'll say to Frank, can you round up some of these other folks and see if there's any other knights around and see if you can gather up around them. Maybe, fall back a little bit or something just till we know this is safe.
It's like, sure. I don't know if it might have been, I don't know if he's still in town. I'll see if he's here. And then he runs off.
He was able to fix my goggles too, right?
Yes, he did offer that. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I can just trade him my broken gun.
Yeah, he might be willing to do that for sure. But he runs off, but it's, platform. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I want to have him fixed before we get attacked in the darkness.
Okay.
If there's time.
That's attacking me. But yeah, so this light grows and continues to grow, and you see more and more. There seems to be like some of these main lights on some of these front ships. And as it gets closer, it looks like there's a singular, extremely long ship on the front, and behind it, it's towing just like a sea or a village of these smaller raft houses that all have these like string lights and things kind of tethering them together and little bridges and things between them. And you see that it turns a bit and pulls up alongside of you. And it's just this extremely long, narrow boat. And it's got a long hut that stretches almost the entire length of it. And on board, you see lots of people waving, some people throwing out little rafts and things and of their own ropes. And they start trying to get people to climb on board.
All right. I'll go back to Frank and like, it looks like we've got some rescue folks here, so I'll start kind of getting the line going.
They seem to be prioritizing the people that are like still in the water or that are still surfacing.
Oh, sure.
So a few of them have been picked up, but
you gotta
they're
get the
making their way
first.
towards this main. Yeah. And they look to be normal-ish people. As they get closer, they look to be mostly like fisherman attire. You see like lots of people wearing pretty common clothes. You don't see really any armor or weapons drawn, but lots of fishing poles and things that are just
Are you
outstretched, kind of dragging
cannibals?
behind.
If I ask, you have to tell the truth.
Cannibals code.
And you hear one person call back, "No,
Well, I'm glad they're not cats.
unless you're made out of squid."
Nope. Where'd y'all come from?
They implying that they're
And-
made out of squid.
As you call back, or you call that out, you see a woman step out. Appears to be like a little bit more distinguished than most of the others, and kind of, she's this very tall high elf. She's wearing this gigantic like fur of some strange beast or creature that's been made into like a little bit of a cape, and then she's got this long purple dress that's been stitched up, and she's got these like rubber fishing boots underneath that, and she steps and puts her foot up on the edge of the like ship there and calls out and says like, "Oh, we've got newcomers here. Like, where are you all from?"
Up.
Or down, depending on how you look at it.
Everyone comes from down. But like, where in the city are you guys from?
Oh,
They're Derelictus.
Hangstation.
Oh, yeah. It's
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And she looks around. She's like, "Is that what this used to be?" And she like picks up a
Yup.
piece of the driftwood of it, and
Well,
you see there's lots of people in the in this like little village that are very like happily picking up debris. It looks like this entire like boat and all of these little raft houses have been put together of just debris that has surfaced at some point. So you see all sorts of people, like some are jumping into the water, picking up debris here and there and piling it all up. She's like, well, you want to get on board. We've got food, and if anyone needs medical attention, there's a few people you can talk to here. Of all the places to wind up in the heart, though, this is not too bad. It's pretty quiet here, pretty calm. Lots of people like to come here to retire. It's worst places you could have winded up.
What is here?
Oh, this is the Gastling plane. It's some sort of weird dimensional space that opened up, but a lot of people that get here just wind up staying. It's not a whole lot that
Is it because
really
you can't
hurt you
leave?
here. Well, a little bit of that, but also like plenty of food. No one from the Spire ever comes down here. Nothing too big or too bad ever pops up. It's just peaceful, quiet, good place to retire. Good place to kick it up after you've had a life of adventuring,
So if we murdered an interdimensional squid, that's not a problem for this?
Probably not. And there's all sorts of little squid things here. I think we're inside of another squid, to be honest, but I don't really confirm that.
Was it
Insquidtion.
just squids all the way down, right?
Yeah.
So
And there's a lot of squid, and she has a spear behind her that's kind of resting on her, and she just sticks it into the water and pulls it out, and there's 2 skewered on her spear. She's like, there's a lot of squid in this ocean, but tastes good.
I'm sold.
Puts back down,
Toss me a squid.
and she peels one off and throws it your way.
Ah.
Ow. I eat it.
You can pick up the Desolate Domain if you don't have it.
Nice.
Okay. She says, I'm Eliana, by the way. And you all are?
I'm Zero. I'm famous. You've heard of me. Congratulations. This is my best friend Genevieve, and everyone else here belongs in my cult. To my.
Well, I actually
Cult.
belong to the Hive, but that's something else entirely.
I'm not really in either cult yet,
Yeah, is the keyword here.
Yeah,
I'm not
is
in
the
any
keyword
cult. I'm Sir Galvin of the Vermissian Knights.
Oh, okay. We don't get a whole lot of your kind here. We've got the one propeller on the back of the ship, so maybe you could take a look at that. That'd be fantastic.
Either
But
myself or
your
Devore.
kind,
Good with machines.
Oh, great. Your kind don't typically stay around here too much. There's not many trains or railways around, as you can see.
No.
And this just kind of goes on forever, we think. We're always kind of moving, but we've never found an end. So,
Interesting.
why don't you hop on board? And she
Sure.
pushes a plank out that just descends onto your guys' little platform there.
On I go.
Okay.
Meander aboard.
She mentions to who of you looks the most beat up? Because a bunch of you have a lot of fallout going on, right?
Yeah.
I've got major
Yeah.
echo, but I like it, and minor blood.
Okay. She
I've got
definitely
echo and
picks
mind.
up on. She picks up on how worn a lot of you guys look. She's like, "Oh, you guys should make it over to Morgiana there. She can get you patched up."
I believe that's pronounced margarine. Thank you very much.
I do not think it is pronounced that way, but you can ask her yourself, I guess.
Very well. All right. Cultists, follow after us. Swim.
I think there's boats, Zero.
Listen,
They haven't earned a place on the boat.
I don't
there's
know how
plenty of
long this is going to last, so I am going
So,
to.
and she does say
hurry there along to find
as they're
someone else.
all seemingly very because the way that Fallout says is they're always kind of on the outside of town. She's like, your friends can stay there. They I don't know if I trust them yet. So they just are kind of sitting on the rest of the platform that's still floating by the end.
Don't worry, I'll come back for you.
And she's like, we'll attach those tethers there, just kind of have it drag along behind us.
I was going to leave them there.
But I think they'll be okay right there.
Are we going in a boat that's got the propeller?
She's like, yeah, this is the head of the fleet, I guess you could say. And it's this super long boat. And at the back, there's like this big engine with a propeller in the middle of it.
I'm going to look to see if I can find like part of like a barrel, something kind of curved that I can perhaps convince Zerl to sit on while holding a rope and being towed behind the boat. So
Why?
It'll be fun. I think you'll like it.
So
Because then you stand up and you hold the rope.
Shit, all right.
You should call this surfing.
Surfing. I like it.
Oh, no.
I knew if there's anyone here that would appreciate it, it would be Zerl.
Very well. Come.
There is the barrel that Frank was on, so
Yeah.
it's there.
hop
And there's
in it.
plenty of these structural cables to loot from. You see those are getting snatched up pretty quick, though, as the inhabitants of this little drifting village are very eagerly pillaging all of this driftwood and all of the debris from the wreckage. But you're able to put together what you're wanting there.
Sure.
Is there like a particular effect you're going for with this, or just
No, just entertaining myself.
That's fair. Look at me,
sure
one
you're able to do
hand.
that?
Oh, shit.
It's not going super fast, but it's enough speed that you're able to, drift on it a little bit. But there's like a massive. It is just this floating village of rafts and houses behind it. So it's not moving at incredible speed with this single engine and propeller on it, but it is doing a surprisingly good job at it. You saw it never really stopped as it approached. You imagine there's probably just a lot of momentum that they're carrying on. But yeah, as they scoop you up. April, Genevieve.
Yes.
As she mentions the name Morgiana, that rings familiar to you.
I think you guys can go on ahead. I didn't really get hurt with what we were doing, so I think
Yeah, you were too busy making out with a squid brain.
I had to. You know what? It was important. All right, you wouldn't understand. I wouldn't expect you to understand, B-boy.
Now, if it was a bee brain,
boy.
that I could understand.
Are you okay, Genevieve?
Physically, yeah, I'm great. I'm
Okay.
peachy keen.
Uh-huh.
Come back here and
But
surf
you
with me. There's room in the barrel.
And as you guys are discussing this, you see there's a very old woman that's making her way towards you along the edge of the ship.
Walking fast.
Not walking fast. She's kind of hunched over, looks pretty old, very like wrinkled face, but has like a very pleasant smile. She's wearing like this very big kind of puffy dress, and you see it's been patched together like a million times. It's all sorts of different colors just from the patchwork it's putting together. And she's wearing a pretty thick leather apron that looks like it may have used to be like a blacksmithing apron or something, but it's covered in like baking flour and things now. And Genevieve, you recognize a very familiar wand that's in her hair, pinning it into like a bun back as you see your old mentor approaching you, Morgiani.
He's a wizard.
And she croaks out like, "Oh, a lot of you look pretty rough. Is these your new friends here, Genevieve?"
We're friends?
Yeah, something like that. Some of them, maybe
had
a few.
old
It's me.
There's Zerl. Zerl's great.
Oh, that very She like reaches up and puts a hand on your like chest there. She's like, "Oh, you're a very spicy one here. I see."
I am. I'm also covered in butter.
And she pulls her hand away and
More savory than spicy.
I'm very
she's like,
savory.
I see. And she looks around at the rest of you and like, "Oh, it's well, if you want to stay in my, I guess I'm kind of the town doctor in a way. Gets you patched up if you able to, do some work around here and pitch into the meal time and all that, or willing to trade. I'm always happy to pick up some knickknacks as new people arrive into town." And she looks over back at you, Genevieve. She's like, "Oh, what brings you here? Were you looking for me? It's been so long. You haven't visited or written."
I can't say I exactly knew where you were. I wasn't particularly intending to end up here.
We haven't yet really figured out a mail system yet, but that's mostly intentional. But yeah, it's rather quiet and calm here. I'm sure you'll love it. I'm sure you'll want to stay.
I'll think about it. We'll consider it. We can maybe chat about it over dinner.
Yeah, there's plenty of room. There's not many times we get another sorceress with us, so that would be fantastic. I'll tell everybody we've got a new town sorceress. I'm sure they'll be delighted to hear it. And she brings the rest of you over. She functions as a healer, so if any of you want to be able to burn resources or something, you can clear fallout or heal damage. And she can do blood, mind, and echo.
Genevieve,
Hi.
do you need me to kill her?
That might,
Give me the secret signal when you're ready.
Okay.
That's not that secret signal.
What's the secret signal? What?
Oh,
Have
no,
I
I'm
been
sorry.
mistaken?
That was the secret signal. I'm sorry.
My God, man, you can't spook me like that.
I got confused. It happens.
I thought the secret signal was get him.
Oh, wait, or is it?
Oh, that's knocking. That's when I need to borrow your hoodie. It's a little chilly in here.
Oh, yeah. The fear is really crawling down my spine right now.
I don't get that, but I'm sure it's funny.
Dan, as you guys are taking some downtime on the ship, Frank joins back up with you, and he's like, "Oh, I guess we're going to be here for a while. If you want me to take a look at those glasses you got there."
I got 2 broken things now. Like to just have one unbroken thing, maybe.
And he holds the gun and the glasses, like, "I can fix one of these."
The glasses. If it matters that the rifle's a D8 expensive.
Okay.
So.
I'll say, even though it's broken, it is expensive, so I'll say that kind of counteracts, and it's still worth the D8. He's able to take that and like looks at the glasses and like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "These weren't originally yours. They don't really look like they fit on you." But
no
matter. And he holds them up to you and he's kind of like notating some measurements you see in his head. And as he's looking at your eyes, he looks at your hex eye. That's all like, how do you imagine your hex eye looks?
I'm somewhat torn between like it just has like a symbol on it or it's like constantly changing. Like,
yeah. I like that one.
With an answer, 'cause I was just going to make a joke that it's big and brown. It's your big brown eye.
brown eye. My one brown eye.
Yes.
Yeah, I picture it like it's kind of the same way as the squid was, where like it's
interdimensional basically.
It was like kind of not really lining up all the time. It had a little bit of the same thing going on. So I picture that. It's like, it looks like there's way more depth to it than there should be. It just doesn't really line up. And it's like moving too much perspective wise as you focus in on it. He's like, "What have you got going on there?" And he puts the goggles to you and pulls out like, he's like a few different strange like instruments, and he looks at it closer. He's like, that this might be able to take advantage of that. Give me some time with this. And as he pockets the thing, he starts like breaking your rifle apart and unscrewing it things and breaking it down
there'd
into
be
its
useful parts in there.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, there's plenty enough in here. It's like, give me a few hours. Probably after dinner, I'll have it ready for you.
Nice. Go ahead and wipe my
Goes
rifle
off
off.
and sits by himself. All right. Is anyone else needing to heal from Morgiana? Or does anyone have any like resources and things? If you don't have resources, you do see there's like a number of fishing lines and things that are dredged over the edge of these ships as you're kind of going along. And yeah, and everyone says like, we always need more food, especially with the number of people that just showed up, if you want to take your hand at trying to catch some more squid or fish, it's usually squid, but occasionally you find other sorts of stuff.
Aw, snap.
It's the lollygaggers.
There they are. I'll try to help with some fishing.
I'll fish.
I too will fish.
I'll fish dangerously.
Genevieve, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, if it keeps me busy.
Come on, let's go fishing. I have a barrel we can stand in.
It'll be a barrel of fun.
Hey.
You could use the barrel for the fishing. And then if Theo shoots him, he's shooting fish in a barrel.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know if there's any. Doesn't have any pre-made tests, so let's do hunt. I think hunt is the right test here. So you guys want to do a hunt desolate?
Hunt.
Anyone that wants to
Desolate.
attempt it.
Excellent. Things I don't have.
I've got them all.
Huzzah.
Oh, darn.
I'm terrible at fishing.
Is this going to bring into play the hex eye?
Do you want it to?
It doesn't necessarily need to. I mean, like for the negative effect of it.
Oh, god dang it.
Oh,
Why
no.
did that not work?
Not for the negative effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank gosh.
You're not really. It's more of like a timing, feeling the line thing than it is like an aim thing because you can't really see through the surface, anyways. Success
No
at cost.
change. Success at a cost.
Okay. So it looks like John and Genevieve. You guys aren't taking stress for this. You're just not getting anything out of it. As you're approaching for it. A few times, like, you get pretty close to catching something and then you pull it up and it's just like more debris. And it's which someone plucks off the end of your line and runs off and fastens it to their house. But Jake, Zerl, and Theo each get success at a cost. So all of you have the same kind of thing happen where there's a swarm coming by one of the sides of the ship, and as you guys are, setting up your lines, I imagine like April and John, you guys were on one side of the ship and the other three are on the other, and this swarm like jumps up and starts biting at your guys' hands. So the fish that you catch are ones that like bit into you. So each of you roll
Catch
a
'em one way or
D6
another.
blood.
Oh, thanks.
Hooray! I have enough protection to eliminate that.
Nice.
Oh, good.
I'll say you're close enough to John that his passive effect thing doesn't apply.
Have some
The
blood
damage
protection.
reduction. Yep.
No follow-up.
Okay. Awesome. And you see, it's all sorts of really strange looking fish that jump out. Most of them have way too many eyes. Some of them are like partially squid. Some of them are like, hardly any of them are symmetrical in any way.
Listen, don't judge it. for the
Oh
way
my.
it's shaped. It could still be a delicious squid.
As major blood fallout. Okay.
It's like that one box at the grocery store where it's like the fruit's like bruised and shit. It's still good fruit.
Broken arm.
Jesus. Jake, you get the biggest catch. As it just all the way up your arm, there's this massive, like angler-looking fish that clamps down its teeth pretty high up. And it's got two of those little light things coming off the front of its head. It's got 3 eyes on one side, 2 on the other. One of its fins is a little bit bigger than the other side.
Actually, real quick, Joe, before we fully resolve that, would Jake have been within arm's reach of me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's a very narrow boat.
Then I will use my last minute intervention ability. So I will downgrade the major fallout to minor fallout.
Nice. And I thought
okay.
we were all in the barrel.
That's a very large barrel.
It is what it is.
Could be in the barrel if you want to be.
I think it might just be Zero in the barrel.
That's fine.
Yeah, let's do a minor fallout instead. Or I guess we'll do one that makes sense.
I have my cultist pushing me along in the water.
All
I
that
don't have to
butter
paddle.
makes being too close unbarrelable.
I attack Theo with all of my might.
Oh man. Okay.
It had to happen.
It's fair.
I want to find
That's
one of
actually
these
that's actually what being a heretic means. It's just puns.
I
How do you
didn't
become
know
a-
that was the class Adam had been playing all his life.
You didn't realize Adam was a heretic his whole life?
I didn't.
Okay. You get ringing head. Where is that one in the list? Is that in there?
No.
Ringing head. It's in the book. Are there a bunch of
Yeah,
fallouts
I
not
found
in
it.
Some
I found
of
it's listed
those-
under fallout.minor. But yeah, your head
Okay.
swims and you taste blood in your mouth. The next action you take is dangerous. The one after that is risky, and then you remove this fallout as your head clears.
What I'm envisioning happening, especially with the way Sir Galvin has been rolling, is that I saw this thing coming up out of the water, and I tried to just push Devorin out of the way, but I more punched him in the
Punched
face
him
so
right
he
in
could
the
get his
side
head
of the
beat off.
face.
He just punched him in the head. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, and then
Come to Papa.
but the effect of that, you punch him out of the way, and this fish jumps up on deck and starts flopping around. So, Zerl and Dan, you each get a D6 resource. Jake, you get a D8 resource for the
nice.
extra
What
damage.
do I call this resource?
Strange fish.
I'm gonna immediately use mine for healing. So
Yeah, you can do that.
Strong a fish.
see how much healing I get out of it. I'm hoping for at least one.
And is this...
Got it.
What kind of domain is this fish?
This is desolate.
I will go trade my strong a fish off to Genevieve's mortal enemy. So she can make me not sleepy anymore.
Okay. She does that.
Ooh, sorry
As you
about
trade it
that.
to her, she throws it on. She's got a little cooking station. She starts frying it.
I'm sorry,
Better out
Genevieve.
of you, sir. I expected better out of you.
I'll still kill her if you ask me to, but I mean,
And as you're going over that with her, or as you're conversing with Borgiana, she's just telling tales "Oh, Genevieve is one of my most talented students back in the day. I remember
Really?
the time." She's just talking your ear off about.
My
when
gosh,
did
is
you
there
two
something in your
separate
hair?
ways?
She's like, "Oh, this must have been, who knows, maybe 7-8 years ago." It's hard to remember. It's
And what did you
Kinda
do
lose
to
track of time
Genevieve to
out here.
make her leave?
I didn't do anything. She just
How
Went off on her
dare
own.
you? Genevieve would never.
Well, I had bigger dreams to chase, you know?
Ah, how dare you keep her from chasing her hopes and dreams? She was going to Hollywood to be a star, damn it.
I didn't. It was an amicable parting of ways.
Well,
as
shit,
all my
Genevieve,
students
I
have.
tried. I don't know what to say.
You know, maybe you should just not say anything.
That's what my third wife said.
And again, she goes on, she's like, I'm just so happy that we're reunited now. We can live out our days peacefully here, just on this,
No.
dark sea.
Well,
Such a calm place.
I'm rolling an endurance
Yeah.
test because she's just talking her head off and she's just meat.
No, Genevieve and I got places to go. We're leaving.
Go for it.
I'm not quite done with what I set out to do, so
That's right.
I won't be staying.
She still hasn't found and killed Mrs. Butterworth.
There's nothing but just more danger. We're pretty close to the heart here. It's really dangerous outside of here.
You
That's
met
never scared
Genevieve?
me before.
Well, of course, she's my student, but I just don't see why you would want to risk so much.
Quick, Genevieve.
Genevieve gets a crazy look in her
And
eye.
you basically met it.
Oh, God. I'm walking away.
All right,
What
now
did you want?
there are two things I need from you, old crone. I'm sorry. That was rude. You're such a wonderful person.
I know your type. It's
Okay.
She watches one of the bees kind of buzz by her head. She's like, "It's no offense taken."
Okay, so two questions. One, I forgot how things work. What would it cost to get that sort of dealt with mentally? And second, I forgot the other thing. What would it cost to get things dealt with mentally?
What fallout do you have currently?
Oh boy, let's see. I've got ringing head. I've got
Yeah, so
weird.
you got that
Oh, second question. Weird. Do you have any wildflowers?
Wildflowers. There may have been some that I picked up just recently. And she's like, "Yes, I've got this nice little pot. Do your bees want to partake?"
Yeah, I will just grab the nearest fistful and just take the deepest whiff of them I can.
Oh. I often forget your type's ways. Sure, help yourself. I was planning on, these cookies that I had made being eaten instead, but that's okay.
Oh, I'll take the cookies too. But also, I'll give you this strange fish that nearly punched me in the head until somebody else punched me in the head in exchange for dealing with my issue.
I think she'll be able to clear both despair and what's the other one? I'll let you either get rid of one major or two minors with this.
I'll go with the one major.
Okay.
You should name him
Despair.
Tom.
You're getting rid of despair?
Yeah.
Okay.
That way I can have access to my technology domain.
Yep, that is useful.
There used to be a show called Big Block Sing Along. They had a song about technology. You should check it out. Copyright Defenders Code.
Now I'm no longer
That
afraid
will
of technology.
never backfire, no matter how many times we say stuff like
Will
that.
never backfire. What are they going to do? Sue us? They don't even know our real names.
All right.
Don't look into that.
Would only make us stronger.
It only make us more powerful. Holy shit. The makers of Hot Pockets
That's how
have sued
lawsuits
this
go.
no-name stream. Now everyone knows the name of our stream.
Consider that a win.
Yeah.
Right. Consider that a win.
Or I'm waiting for Bush's Baked
Okay.
Beans to sue us. That was a good one.
So,
Or for Bad Dragon.
and as you
Otis.
guys are kind of mingling around
I
this
would
boat
take that
too,
too.
Yeah. As you guys are mingling around this boat, you're getting a lot of very similar stories of just people that used to be adventurers, and they like see kind of like the light, the fire, and the dry behind your eyes. Like, oh yeah, I used to be like you, but why deal with all that danger and life and death stuff when you can just live out your days here?
Thought you were gonna
And
say.
you're just getting that kind of over and over and over again.
Did you see what happened to him trying to catch a squid?
Like, I mean, there's some excitement here, but this is pretty mild compared to the other things that are just right on the other side of the sea.
Ignoring your cowardice for a moment, how do we get the fuck out of here?
Leave? Well, supposedly the way that you came in, through the bottom of the ocean, but it's kind of hard to find where that is. It's not always open.
It's like that one really great breakfast place. It's hard to figure out when it's open.
Yeah, something like that. As you are talking about that, you see there's kind of a line that starts tugging on one of the edges of the ship. And you see that there's like this guide wire that's pulling out of the water. And you see off in the distance there's a boat that's coming back that's like pulling this line in. You get the sense that because of how big this area is, that was probably like one of the fishermen, and then this is how they tether themselves together still, because it's near infinite, as they were saying. But as it's pulling back in, you see this boat's like pretty badly damaged. There's parts of it missing here and there. And you see this like wiry old man with a big straw hat that's pulling it in, and he's breathing really heavily. And just like, oh God, and pull himself in. You hear,
We'll gladly volunteer Sir Galvin to go help him.
I will go assist.
and you're able to pull on the line too to like speed up the process of him coming in.
You know what? What I'll do is I'll actually like wrap it around my drill and like spin up the drill to look like a winch.
It's like a winch.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You do that. It like pulls on his hands and burns him for a little bit. He's like yelps, and then he hooks it onto the side of the ship, and then it tugs the boat and kind of lurches. He falls back, and then the boat pulls in. Quick. He's like, "Oh, that's a pretty handy gadget you got there." And what was I saying? Oh God, there's a thing. Another. You all look new. Where are you from?
How do you? To us.
We're from the distant land known as Taco Bell, neighboring to the Pizza Hut.
Or also known as Hangstation
Yes, that too.
and the Bazaar.
Oh, okay. I know where that is.
But what did you see?
Well, it's not there anymore. It's here.
Yes.
Yes.
I found there's the cinder whale. I've seen it again.
Cinder
And
whale.
I've been tracking it for so long. It's giant. It's the biggest thing I've found under here. Well, I mean, there were 3 other people with me that could have confirmed it, but they were
They're all dead.
Sacrificed.
Sacrifice.
basically. But we were out by the obelisk again, and I guess this thing likes it because it's, an obelisk thing. There's not usually stuff that sticks out here, and so we've been trying to investigate what that's all about. And this cinder whale attacked one of us, and so I would love help. Like you all look actually prepared to deal with something
We've
like
got
this.
no choice here. We have to slay the cinder whale, and I hop back into my barrel.
I wish to see this obelisk.
As he gets his fork and knife, like, oh yes, we will slay this cinder whale.
We already have butter. What else more do we need?
What else do we need?
Again, I
Rhymes.
remind you, the butter is rancid.
It is not. It's freshly churned.
If you just don't
that's
think
not-
about where it came from.
Yeah.
Our
Anything to
guts
get
will be
away from
freshly
Argiana.
churned.
Yeah.
Come
So
on,
why
Genevieve,
they-
hop in
I
the
would,
barrel.
I would love to run back out
Just straight
as soon as we
dive.
can. And as he's like going on about this, you see Eliana step back out, and they're like, "Hold up, tippers! It's time to eat now." And
Tippers. What
you
is
can
this?
That's old man Tippers there. You've had the unfortunate time meeting, and she
How
just kind
dare
of
you
glares at him.
insult this venerable old man?
This is actually quite fortunate. It gives me a reason not to go to dinner.
Yes, we're going though.
All
Goodbye.
right,
you
so
old
are a lot of you
fucks, as they
skipping?
Say goodbye to Tippers.
Okay. Well, you say goodbye to Tippers, or are you?
Yes.
We're leaving the old
Are
man
you-
behind.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm just saying words, Joe. Make sense of them.
Okay. So basically, he's trying to pull the lot of you to go back out,
Oh, we're going.
and okay, and then she's asking that you stay and have dinner. So up to you either way. Apparently,
in a barrel.
looks like Zerl's hopping in the boat.
I had.
I
slippers
could
ready
have
to
my
go.
goggles if we can wait till after dinner.
I guess we should let Dan get his goggles.
Yeah.
That's kind of important.
I
Mr.
make-
Tipper, would you like
Did
to
you hear
have some dinner
Frank?
before we go back out?
You hear Frank call out. He's like, "I'm almost done."
All
And
right.
Tippers
Goggles, he
like
could
sits there for a
aim
little
a
bit.
rail gun, and with a rail gun, he could kill a cinder whale.
A rail gun. And he looks over at you, Dan, and sees the giant rail gun that you've got. He's like,
That
That
is,
looks
it's
a
a
little bit
badass
like-
piece of weaponry, but let me tell you, it's not necessary. I am going to seduce the cinder whale, and I'm going to strike a goddamn pose right there. Ah! And it's going to die.
"I have
of
not tried
heartbeat.
that yet, but it could be effective. I like your stuff."
I'm a genius. He agreed with me.
Yeah, huh?
He's like, he's this kind of hunched over old man. He's got a big straw hat and then this like bristly straight beard. He's got
respect a
this
mustache
really
like that.
long, baggy, raggy sweater, and you hope that he's wearing pants underneath it, but you can't really see.
Pants are optional.
And his hands like
How far down
he's
does
got like
the shirt
really
go?
a bad. It's like to the middle of his thighs.
He's got pants on underneath that. Trust me, he's old enough that if he didn't, that shirt would have to go past his knees.
lost him in the war. But,
Perhaps he's got jorts.
he's got like
respect it.
really
Yes, I got
bad
some DVD
arthritis
going
too in one of his hands, and like his hand is permanently just grown around a fishing pole. And
Respectable.
he's like, "I suppose it would be too bad to eat first and then head out, but we're heading out immediately after."
Yes.
Yes.
He
The way you think.
like marches as he does around the corner and goes into the lawn hut. And inside the lawn hut setup, there's like several tables. It's kind of just a big mess hall. There's a large kitchen on one end of it, and then kind of a meeting area on the other. And then just all sorts of these tables are laid out, and there's people sliding down plates from one end to the other, passing food out for the entire village eating in here. And it is all types of fish. There's a few vegetables here and there, though. It looks like a few of these little huts have been dedicated to like growing some sort of things.
Greenhouses.
They're mostly like fungal type
No
plants.
thanks.
But you see some leaves and things here and there.
I've seen what the fungus do.
I have. First hand.
Doesn't look like that fungus.
Not
Sir Galvin
trusting
will
it.
have fungus and vegetables and fish. He
Could
grown
I get
boy.
unfried calamari rings?
Yeah, good.
That's
There'd be
great.
like also there's like a million different types of just fish food.
Chewy, just like those
If it's
lifesaver
remotely
gummies.
fish based, it's probably here. And this will
Oh.
function as a D6 of healing of stress of whatever type.
Hooray! Let's see if I can get more than 0 again. 3 this time.
I got 3, which is the 3 I needed.
Okay.
I'll get some.
And over the entire course of the dinner, Tippers is yelling out about, and then you see people like pointing at Tippers, and they're doing like
What?
that symbol, like, "Oh man, Tippers."
I mean, first off, Devorin was about to say something, but I have a very important question for Tipper afterwards.
Okay. What were you saying, Jake?
I'm just going to grab some non-squid fish and feed it to our brain squid on the back of the dog.
Okay.
I respect
did name
the
the dog.
non-cannibalism. You named it?
Yes.
Yeah, the Robo Dog. His name is Waldo.
Oh,
Okay. Right. Yeah,
we don't
Waldo and
lose
the
him.
squid seem to be friends here too. They're getting along. And you see the squid still does the out of sync blinking
think
thing,
you should
but
call
its
him
eyes
blinking.
kind of both focus in
I like
as you bring some food over. It snatches it very quickly out of your hand. and
you can call him
eats it.
Blinken.
Abe Blinken.
Blinken, I love it.
There it is.
I do have a question for Tipper, though.
Okay.
Who's Tipper first? I don't remember.
Tipper's the old man that came in.
I thought he was... Oh, he was Tipper, wasn't he? Tipper, what's your last name?
Go on.
Someone got it.
Everyone around here just calls me Tippers.
How's Al doing? How do you feel about series of
dead.
tubes?
I don't know. I
Listen,
like tubes.
John is enjoying it. Dan is enjoying it. Jake is ashamed. April doesn't get it. Nope thinks it's funny.
I don't either.
Perfect.
I thought it was a just the tip joke, and
No.
then you just kept going.
It's about
Series of
Tipper
tubes.
Gore, the wife and second lady of America.
Ow, well,
I barely know who Al Gore is. Like,
He invented the internet, damn it. Put some respect on his name.
It's not a bunch of dump trucks. It's a series of tubes.
that is the extent of my knowledge of him. Is that he said that once.
All right, very well.
But,
We've distinguished who was born in the 80s and who was born in the 90s.
Yep.
We have distinguished ourselves as born.
okay, Dad.
But yeah, so throughout this entire thing, a lot of people seem to be kind of annoyed by Tippers. It seems that he was very pushed into the role of being the fisherman, so he's away most of the time, and everyone just kind of deals with him while he's back. But he's going on and on about all sorts of craziness that he saw. But he's talking a lot about this obelisk that popped up recently.
So, let me understand the situation. They forced this poor, decrepit old man into providing them food. And then when he returns, they treat him with disdain.
Basically.
I have to fight someone now.
If this fellow was a bee, he'd be getting it on with a lady bee right now. Because that's what
Is that
worker
how that
bees
works?
deserve. Absolutely. That's why worker bees do anything.
I mean, there's plenty of people that are kind of side-eyeing Tippers and seem to be annoyed with him. So
I am going to grab one of those people who are side-eyeing Tipper. I'm going to pick them up by the head.
okay.
Girl.
Grip him like a basketball.
This old man, this decrepit old man that your entire community forced onto this brutal sea
The
has
diseased,
provided
smelly old
food
man.
for you today. You treat him with disrespect.
He didn't have any food today, but I get your point.
If I hear about this again, you're the food.
Okay. And he starts choking on what he was eating.
I drop him.
And you see Eliana kind of side-eyes you at that and puts her hand on her saber. And she's like, if you would not roughhouse people here, that'd be great.
Which one's Eliana again? Is she the witch that I don't like?
She's the
Not the
leader of the
witch.
community.
Eliana, I helped you today. You're welcome. And you should thank Sir Galvin, because I heard him whispering in my ear that said, don't do it. So I only did it a little.
Honestly,
This is pretty
you should
good
appreciate
restraint.
him for that.
So say thank you to Sir Galvin.
She kind of see her that she like tilts her head to the side and her hair falls away and she's missing like a big chunk of her ear. And you can tell that she's a little bit more built up in this light than you can tell, or before. She's like, I'm not afraid of your type. I used to be one of you.
What of me?
an adventurer.
Oh, okay.
You're one of a kind.
zero. Yeah.
Like,
Although, if
You
she
don't need
was
to
one
be-
of your kind, and then she was like adventuring and found some crazy witchcraft that turned her into this, I'd want her. If I were her, I'd want to retire too.
that's fair. I would be
Pardon?
ashamed.
Pardon my companions, they are a little bit addled after the recent events. We did watch
dare you
reality
apologize on
dissolve
my
around us.
It has been
It
at
takes
least
a little
3
bit to
years
adjust
since I
around
last took
here.
Adderall. I resent that remark.
My head is still ringing from getting punched by Sir Galvin.
That was my bad. It was going to try to eat your face. Just saying. It was a
It's
reflex.
like, it's all right. We're
Like
used to a
slapping
little
your
bit of
mom on the face and
commotion.
stopping the mosquito.
I had my arm up. It would have just destroyed my arm at the very most. But whatever.
Didn't you forget how to do building things?
I did, but in exchange for the fish, I remember now how to do that.
Okay.
Does anybody have a broken fork? Broken fork? I can
I
fix a
break
broken
a fork.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will fix this fork, and I will puke honey all over it and allow my bees to repair the fork.
No.
I kind of like
no.
side
Alright.
whisper to
Behold,
like,
everyone. Engineering.
see, this is all you have to do is you just distract them with something shiny for a bit when they get all.
Does
And
someone have a
Eliana,
biscuit?
again, it's like there's always a adjustment as those from the heart start to mingle in here, but it takes time. We're used to that.
Indeed.
But as dinner finishes up, Tipper's like he barely chews anything. He just kind of throws it all down and runs out as fast as he can and starts
Surprised
putting
he
his shit
doesn't
back
chew.
together.
He probably doesn't have teeth at his age.
He has a few, but
Devorin,
not a whole lot.
you should
You
make
can
him
fix
some new
his
teeth.
My
Beef.
God. Zerl, you are a genius. Let me see those choppers, Tippers. I'll have you set up in no time.
Disgusting.
He pulls them back, and there's like several like cavities and broken teeth and things where they used to be.
I'll let a couple
Like,
bees
what about-
crawl around inside of his mouth so they can get proper measurements of what his of his teeth.
Girl, punch the rest of them out.
Swallow
Get
that.
to
He's
work
like,
on his
"Oh, this actually
head.
feels kind of good.
Kind of a sweet minty taste.
You know, maybe I'll actually stay here.
Come on. Genevieve,
I'll set to
it's
work on a
fine.
set of dentures for old
Don't
Tippers.
swallow the
Like
dead-
honey flavored toothpaste almost."
Yes.
But
Horrendous.
swallow.
as he starts like grabbing random bits of scrap and things from the pile that was collected from the wreckage. He puts his ship back together a little bit, or his little raft boat thing back together. He's like, "Well, head back out immediately." And then he's still like got his mouth open as he's doing this. He's like, "Oh, head out immediately." And as your bees leave him, he looks at you a little bit closer there, Jake, and he looks at some of the symbols that are on your outfit and things. He's like, "I saw a few of those on that obelisk."
Oh, were they by any chance dead and getting trampled on by a tree woman?
That doesn't ring a bell, but no, I mean the little symbols that you've got there. Those
Oh.
obelisks are full of things that look a lot like what you're wearing.
I figured it out. The way you phrase that. Sycamore woman, stay away from me. Sycamore woman, don't mess with my bees. Got it.
Think with that, we can call it a night.
Goodbye, everyone.
We've reached
Well,
peak
Come
defenders
hanging
of
around
Kobold.
behind. Oak gets it.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you, Oak.
Jake, you would know as a deep aperist that there is a obelisk. There's pretty much only one obelisk that you know of. It's kind of like a pilgrimage destination for your people. If it's what he's describing, it may be the Wardstone Nasanov. And it's basically this big holy relic. It's got all sorts of like text and things inscribed on it over the years. And there's almost some sort of like communing with the stone that your bees and deep aprists can do. They can like talk with it. It's like a form of piety for your bee religion. So
Yes.
I think it may be that. Although it would be odd for it to be here.
That is true.
It's pretty desolate out here. There's not really any plant. Like it's from the stories you've heard, it's surrounded by plants and all sorts of crazy things. It's like a haven for bees. So definitely odd.
Yes.
But as the two of you kind of talk and you're heading out, you feel more and more confident that that's probably what it is. Seems to line up. And you all leave the ship. He has the same tether kind of set up, and he says the same thing. He's like, "Oh, this is so we can find our way back." It's like we don't know where the edge is. We try to venture out, but it's not worth getting separated and having to start over again. I think there's another colony somewhat like us that happened to them, and I'm sure there's other people that have, submerged or emerged from the sea just as you did, and we've never found them. But best not to get lost. He tugs on the cable.
I got my goggles.
Yes,
Frank.
So you do get your Frank is able to finish your goggles and get them to you.
Hooray!
So as you guys are loading up the boat, he would do this. He would come over and he's like, "All right, so I got it." And then you see that it's like a normal looking lens on one side, but the lens on the side with your hex eye looks quite a bit different. It's got like this weird geometry looking to it. It's kind of like domed out a bit. And he's like, "I'm gonna try and make use of this here for you, but I believe that eye can see things as they kind of move around in the hearts and tune with all the dimensions and the movements and stuff of the heart around here. And I made a lens that can focus that, so it might be easier to navigate with this now."
Nice.
Gives it to you. And this is now a D8 delve item.
Ooh. Fancy.
Nice. You did it.
You can call them navigation goggles. Dimensional navigation goggles.
Awesome. Now that's so fancy.
All right.
Now what are we doing?
Yeah, and then as you put them on, you see a similar, kind of that weird focusing thing that you were getting every so often that your eye would give you. But it's not going back and forth and replacing it. It's very, steady feed of alternate things. And you see several, layers that look very similar to where you are right now that slightly diverge here and there. And you're able to kind of, focus in on where you're going. So it looks like as the heart moves around or as you're in some unstable territory, you'll be able to kind of map it out a lot easier.
Nice.
All right. Is anyone else doing anything on the ship before you leave?
I'm ready to go.
Or hopping on?
I'm good to go.
I'm committed to making mistakes at this point.
All right. Let's see. April, you've definitely met your beat there. John, you have. Dan, you have. Zerl, you haven't yet, but that's fine because yours is a major. It takes 2. Jake, yours is a minor. So I would say that the amount of time that he describes that it'll take for you to travel out to this obelisk would be enough for you to complete that one beat that you need.
Gotcha.
And what would that process look like for you as you're doing the beat you need?
During the journey, I would try to sort of tune out everybody else, and so I would use my Apis ambulatory ability and go to sleep and allow my bees to pilot my body, while my consciousness just sort of communes communistically with the hive. So, just kind of losing his individuality for a moment. Or not for a moment, but for however long it takes to sail out there.
Sure. And he says it's going to be at least a good 3 hours.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, I'm definitely
And then the cable, like there's like this massive spool of cable that's unwinding that's attached back to the ship.
I guess my bees can look after that just to make sure nothing too terrible happens to it.
Okay. As you come out of that ritual there, do you have a name?
I'm looking for the Dark Queen.
I would like to make a suggestion that the name that you're looking for is Grundle.
No, I already know of a Grundle, and
What about Grandy? Or Graymond?
Okay.
Ronald?
Gronald?
Ronald Grump, yeah.
Okay. Dark Queen. It's fitting.
Soon our hives will be one.
Yes. And I'll say, so after about 3 hours, as he says, it's pretty true to that word. The spool is getting pretty low at this point, and you can see like the wood of the center of it, where it's not completely coiled up anymore. And you see off on the horizon, there's this kind of limestone color, like this very pale stone that stands out quite a lot. It's one of the most reflective things that you can see in the horizon there. There's a big gap in the water around it, as it seems to be kind of swirling around this. And this obelisk almost extends all the way up into the ceiling. It's rather tall. You'd estimate around 150 feet. And Jake, you definitely do recognize it according to what you've heard. You yourself probably haven't been there, but you've definitely heard other people of your kind describe it. And this very much resembles it. It's almost square type. It's not like rounded. It's kind of got four faces on it, and you see that there's all sorts of these inscriptions that look very similar to the symbols and things that you've got on your robes. But you don't see any plants, don't see any bees, don't see any people praying at it. Just this sea of ash swirling around it. And it's, as you're approaching, you feel the boat shudder a little bit and then sink down and then back up.
Gosh, underneath us.
That
As
normal.
you see a big fin stick out of the water and bank its way around this tide pool and head back at you guys. And a whale head surfaces and opens its mouth, approaching your boat. That's where we're going to end tonight.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Listen, no thanks.
Nah.
I guess we could call him Skipper Tipper.
Skipper.
There you go.
Is that what you said?
Skipper Tipper.
Skipper Tipper. Skipper Tipper Gore. I love it. 30 bonus points to John.
Since when did you learn how to count?
I don't. I know the words. I don't know what they mean. Like, is that a rich man now, or is like he owe like me money still? I don't know.
I think everyone got your beats in except for Chuck, but yours is supposed to take 2 because it's a major.
Yeah, that's fine.
Everyone else had minor. And then your other ones are all your Zenith feats, which should... I think it will be... Like, I'm aiming for it to be resolved next session, but I've left buffer for... It can always go longer, so... For sure, 2 sessions at the most, but you may be able to wrap it up in next session.
Wait, are you talking about the campaign altogether?
Yes.
Holy shit, I got work to do.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't we supposed to meet last night?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't, but
I
that's
forgot
okay.
all about that. No one messaged me.
I took a very long nap.
I didn't know,
sleeping.
so
Fuck.
I forgot about that as well.
We'll figure it out.
I was super busy yesterday anyway, so
How
that
dare
worked
you.
out. But all right, so yeah, everyone got your beats in. Keeping the Zenith and working towards building those. And the way Zenith beats kind of work in this is that's like the way that your character finishes. Like getting your Zenith beat is the way that you buy your Zenith ability, and that basically renders your character unplayable. It's like the capstone on their story. So those may get to play out next time, or maybe in 2 sessions, depending on how this combat's going to go, how you guys interacting with the obelisk goes, and everything from there. So
It would be great. Just great.
yeah,
Yes.
I leave some more room for shenanigans. But alrighty, Chuck, what have we got going on?
Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Hey, on Defenders of Cobalt, what is today? Saturday? No, Friday.
Friday.
I guess we're like, technically it's Saturday. Kind of.
We just now became.
Just Saturday.
That's right.
So let's see, Wednesdays, every single Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central on right here, twitch.tv/Defenders of Cobalt. We have our alien campaign called All Fear the Ishtar. John and Dan are in that, and they play space pirates.
Yarr.
Yar. What else do we got? Every single Friday. Well, for however many Fridays that Joe has in, loaded up, we're going to be playing this. And after this is over, we're going to be kicking over to a game. I don't know how much I want to say about it, but it's going to be stupid, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be stupid fun. So that's going to be happening once Joe's done.
Yep.
But what do we got? We got John. What are we doing? What are we releasing every Tuesday and Thursday?
Every Tuesday and Thursday, we're releasing little goblin bites of our Pathfinder 2 game. We're doing the Age of Ashes Adventure Path. We're in book 1. And the group is all comprised of goblins, and it's going super good. Like, there's no chaos at all.
None.
It's
Oh, I don't have
incredibly straightforward.
I can do my
But it's
Sean
still
voice.
it's still worth watching. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. April plays Dabra, and I play Sean.
Mhm.
Dabra, what was your dog's name?
Rock.
Rock. And my
Rock.
dog is named Swamp Ass.
Mhm.
So, and I'd like to put out that is every single Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube. And also, if you look for us on podcast places, starting this Tuesday, it's also going to be going out on podcast as well. So just look for Defenders of Cobalt. You'll fucking find us, because we're us.
Awesome. Alrighty. Yeah. Trying to wrap up next session, but it could always go for 2. Either way, it's totally fine. And we'll see what shenanigans we get into. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Good night, all.